When our boss announced that Claire and I would be working together, I almost laughed out loud. It felt like some kind of cruel joke. How was I supposed to collaborate with someone who seemed to live to contradict me? The project was a major one, a full overhaul of our company's client management system. It was high stakes, with a tight deadline and a lot of moving parts. We were both given co-lead roles, which meant we'd be working side by side for weeks. The first few days were tense, to say the least. We'd sit across from each other in the conference room, laptops open, barely speaking except to argue over details. "I think we should prioritize the user interface design first," I said during one meeting, "and I think we should focus on functionality," she shot back without missing a beat. It was like this constant tug of war. Neither of us wanted to back down, and it felt like we were getting nowhere. But then something shifted. One night we were both working late in the office. The building was quiet, the hum of the fluorescent lights the only sound. I was buried in spreadsheets, trying to make sense of the data, when Claire walked over to my desk. "Need a hand?" she asked. I looked up, surprised. She wasn't smirking or challenging me. She genuinely seemed willing to help. Reluctantly, I nodded. We spent the next few hours going through the data together, and for the first time I saw a different side of her. She was meticulous, sure, but also thoughtful. She'd pause to ask my opinion, genuinely considering my input. And when we finally cracked the issue we'd been stuck on, she smiled, not a smug, victorious smile, but a genuine one. "Nice work," she said, and I realized she meant it. That night marked the beginning of a shift. We started working more collaboratively, finding a rhythm that balanced our strengths. She'd catch details I missed, and I'd bring creative solutions to problems she hadn't considered. And in the quiet moments between work, we started talking. Really talking. She told me about her childhood, how she'd grown up in a small town and worked her way through college. She talked about her love for painting, something I never would have guessed about her. The more I got to know her, the more I realized how wrong I'd been. Claire wasn't trying to compete with me, she was just passionate about her work. And that passion, which I'd once found so infuriating, was now inspiring.